Everyone, how are you doing? Especially those of you in the United States that have just gone through the election for the last couple days and still going through it. Um, and those of you around the world who are dealing with your own country's issues or personal challenges. Like everybody, we're all going through the same thing, even though we're not in the same country. And what's going on inside of us is also a reflection of what's going on outside of us. So I have a message that it is time for us to focus on what we really want, the big picture of what we really want, and to start thinking about what is the highest good for all. Not just for certain individuals, not putting blame on black, white, right, wrong, left, right, red, blue, whatever. There's so much duality right now. There's so much battling that's happening, and everybody's paying attention to what we don't want, paying attention to the battles, to the fights, to the wars, to the he says this, she says that, or whatever that is dividing us. And we don't know what to believe anymore, because one of the things is because we're looking outward for what it is that we believe, and our beliefs are inside. So it's going to take some time to go inward and say, what am I believing? What am I, and how can you do that? Is like, look at the things you're reacting to and see what are the beliefs that I have that are making me have that reaction. And then when you see that, then ask yourself, is this for the highest good of all concerned? And does this fit my vision of the future for myself, for my family, for the country, for the world? And also, is this my belief, or is this a belief that I was born into, or I was conditioned into? Or I was totally unconscious that I even had this belief. It is time for us, because we are all in transition. There is no going back. Hear me again. There is no going back. We are only going forward. And going forward is going to be a little chaotic, because this is what's happening. There are people waking up and starting to make decisions, starting to say, oh my gosh, seeing things that they didn't see before. And you are one of those, or you're a pioneer helping to lead that. And then there are others who are just in the chaos and they don't know what to do. And those of us who are pioneering and leading, we need to stand up and lead. We need to lead by role modeling, by doing our own work, and by bringing awareness, like I'm doing right now. Is just asking you, would you start to consider, instead of saying this is what I don't want, to start to just say, for the highest good of all. Like this election, I kept it so I don't know which person is better for our future. And actually, it could be that I think that both people are, in whatever way, going to stir things up so that we are moving. It doesn't matter who is what do I want to say? I had a Buddhist monk say to me once, stir up the pot so all the shit rises to the top so you can see it and then you can get rid of it, right? So whoever wins, if we hold for the highest good of all, then we can trust that it's for the highest good of all. In this situation, right, neither in the United States, neither of these people are helping to lead us to what we want. They're actually helping us to break down what we don't want. They're really shining the light on all the things that don't work, that aren't working, that haven't worked for a very long time. But a lot of us have just been too busy to put our energy into it, to think about it, to do something about it. And it really is, to make these changes, these dramatic things are having to happen in order to wake people up to say, it has to change. These have to change. You have to start making new choices. Wake up out of your sleepwalking and start making new choices. And one of the new choices I'm asking you to start consciously making is that you start thinking about the choices that you're making, about the thoughts, about the feelings that you're having about things. Can you hold the space, hold a neutral space for the highest good of all, for the highest good of all in everything, So it's like, what needs to be worked out? For the highest good of all might be, you're going to see your challenges, you're going to see the beliefs, you're going to see the things that are not working for you, so that you can make new choices. That's for the highest good of all, because when you start to see your stuff and make new choices for the highest good of all, besides you're included in that, then you're helping the collective conscious, you're helping your children, you're helping your parents, you're helping the people around you, your friends, and they don't have to know it. Just by you doing that, you're helping to change the energy of it all. We are shifting, and a lot of the work that has been being done over this last year, and actually over probably the last tons of work over the last 8 years to this spot, to this time that we knew was going to happen, but we had no idea what it was going to look like, it has taken us now. It's kind of like, it's not kind of like, I'm sorry. It is the pinnacle. Like, this is where we need to wake up, and what are we going to choose? Do we want to continue battling? Is this a power play? Or is this, how can we be unified? How can we come together and collaborate? How can we create peace amongst all of us around the world? How can all the nations of the world come together and work together? How can no one go hungry? How can no one be without shelter? How can we, love ourselves? How can everybody have financial freedom and equality? That nobody is discriminated against, that we hear people's needs, and we help them with their needs, and our needs are met, that we get to be creative, that everybody deserves health care and to be healthy. And how can we teach people to be healthy? By eating, growing good foods, good, healthy, nurturing foods, that is like, you don't have to go to the doctor that much, that you're drinking clean water. You're having conversations with your neighbors. You have good relationships. People treat you respectfully. All these little things that can add up to people's happiness, to people's well-being, to their health, right? Is connection, right? Respect, self-love, having their needs met, basic needs met, so you don't have to worry about that. So then they can go out in society and be creative and add things that they can be contributing, instead of people feeling that they're taking from. how can we spread love instead of fear? So I'm asking you to consider, highly consider, and start to make it a practice that you are always asking when you are at a place of making a decision, and start to be conscious that, oh, this is a decision time. Because a lot of us make decisions out of habit. And so this is part, you're going to feel like, oh my gosh, you do this 1,000 times a day. You've got to pay attention to, okay, what am I deciding about how I want to show up, how I want to treat somebody? You know, why do you automatically do things a certain way, or cut somebody off, or not listen to them, or pretend you're listening? You know, what if you are really present in every moment, as much as you can be, right? We're all learning, we're all growing, we're on this journey together. How can we support each other? So what is the greatest good for all? How can we help each other, unify? How can we build a spectacular family, home, community, city, country, world, nations, right? How can we support each other? How can we raise each other up so that we never have to go through this again? And that we feel that our lives are of value and exciting to be in. This is a very exciting time, but it's also crazy. And I just want to share, it's going to feel very chaotic. So I would recommend, if you can, don't buy into the chaos. Don't get entangled in that. Just kind of watch and say, for the highest good of all. Just keep holding that the picture of life. How do you want to see the world? How do you want to see your life? How do you want your relationships to be, your career? How do you want your city? The education, healthcare? Start really imagining and fantasizing about what is possible, and just ask what is possible. Connect into the higher realms. Ask your guides to help you see what is possible, and to start choosing, say, prayers or creeds or affirmations that are all by the highest good of all. You don't have to know how that looks either. Just start putting that energy out there, for the highest good of all, for the highest good. Blessings, blessings all. Just because those blessings will come back to you, and ideas will come to you as you're thinking about this. So I'll be talking some more on this, but I just want to, I think it's a perfect time to see the duality and to just start saying, let's unify, let's work together, let's create something spectacular. Not just here in the United States, but all around the world. Because we can do this. I know we can do this. There is no question. And just understand there is going to be a breakdown, and in that breakdown it's going to feel chaos, but just understand we have to have the breakdown before we have the breakthrough. So it's going to feel like it's out of control because, right, those old things are falling away so we can create new things. And your visions and your prayer for the highest good of all, and supporting wherever your genius is. Go in there and play wherever your inspirations and genius lie, and help and design and create and love and find your inner peace and harmony in all of this. And when we start to do this, and more people do this, then we can get through this quicker than we ever imagined. So I love you. Until we meet again, love, live, and matter.